everyone, Mel here and welcome to Skate Shop Stories. We've got a lot to talk about this week. Wow. I thought I would do the other angle in the Corn Exchange shop this week just because we're not actually going to be here for much longer. This week we have done so much. It feels like we've done so much. I feel like I've not had enough sleep, mostly because I've just been very, very excited. We have launched a Kickstarter, which is a way of crowdfunding because we have essentially really outgrown this shop. But more than that, I want to be able to offer more roller skating, and it's really difficult to do here because you've seen the size of this shop. It's not a big space. Let's just do a little, right? That is all of it. That's all of the shop. I mean, that's the ceiling, it's tiny. It is carpeted, so whilst that is a deliberate choice, so people who are less confident can stand up and feel okay and they're not going to fall over. I can't teach in here. Underneath that carpet is a very uneven floor. It's extremely uneven. So we need a bigger space. I wish I could stay in the Corn Exchange and roller skate out on that beautiful floor that is out there. However, it is a shopping centre during the day. I would love it to be my studio, my place of work, but it's hardly private. No one really wants to come here during the day and be watched by a ton of random shoppers while especially if you're at the beginning of your roller skate journey. We found this out quite quickly when we were able to offer late night Thursday nights as an opportunity, but it was not really a good option. It was an option, but not a great one. Although the building itself is quite beautiful, people just felt super vulnerable. Anyone who is walking on the balcony level or just moving around the building in another way would just watch because your eye is drawn to movement, and it did not feel good when people would stop and watch. You feel like you are kind of performing for their entertainment, and you're like, I'm not here for your entertainment. I just want to learn how to control these darn wheels on my feet. So, is what it is. Anyway, we are moving on. I still haven't announced the space that we're moving on to, but I am very, very excited to do that very soon. I am just waiting for a couple more details from various people before I can press the go button on the space. But I've already got one of our skate pals is an architect. She's working on stuff. One of our skate pals is a designer and branding expert, and she's working on stuff. So we've just gotten this amazing team of strong women who are all busily ensuring this is going to succeed. Yesterday we had skate class, and not surprisingly we had a whole heap of questions. Mel, tell me about this, tell me about this. I only went for the last of the 3 sessions, which was our outdoor confidence class. Oh, what a fun class. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. They were doing way more than they expected to do. Anyway, I keep getting sidetracked. What I was really surprised about, in the best way possible, was that so many people have already backed the project. In 48 hours, we're 7% of the way towards our goal or something like that. That is pretty shocking. People don't even know where it's going to be yet, and they're still pledging. I just think that's completely awesome. And there's been a very strong theme of people talking about feeling safe. I recognize that I really need, in order to feel comfortable to fully relax, I actually have to feel safe and okay and not judged and all the rest of those things that go with feeling safe. And so it's not just feeling safe from falling over, like putting knee pads on and things like that. It's actually about creating a space where people feel like no one else is competing with them, that everyone is just there to support them. And the individual conversations that I've had with people, and it's a repeating theme over and over and over again. And the conversations are pretty much always one-on-one. Also, I think is a way for people to feel safe, because when you're in a group, it's always the hardest. I think it's the hardest thing when you don't know what the rest of the group is thinking, to be that person that's like, I'm going to venture an opinion, because you kind of risk being ostracized from the group. And if it's your friendship group, that's like a big deal. So I totally understand that, you know, when we're, especially teenage girls, you might not have had a great time in, your thinking is different from someone else in the group. You maybe just haven't got a good feeling about that kind of growing up. So we carry that feeling into our adulthood, and then we're constantly on guard, and it's exhausting. So having a space where you actually feel that you can fully relax and that no one cares about like anything that you might think is a weird quirk about yourself that's kind of different to normal, whatever normal is now. Like, I think we should celebrate uniqueness, but sometimes we will call that uniqueness weirdness if you don't think the same way as everybody else. Like, over bank holiday weekend, there was a really big push in Leeds city centre, and I'm pretty sure like across the UK everywhere, that there were going to be a bunch of drinks offers. And when I'm talking about drinks, I'm talking alcoholic drinks. So there's very much an expectation that because you've got time off work, not me anyway, that you've got time off work, you've therefore got time where you can go out, drink loads of alcohol and do things that you maybe wouldn't normally do, because you've got time to like recover from that and the effects of that, and then go back to your life. Whereas I think that we should build joy into our daily lives and not like wait for a time when you can allow yourself to have more joy, because you tend to, like, I'm going to say, overindulge maybe. And this is not intended to be judgment at all. If people are in a lifestyle where they enjoy alcohol, I don't mind, right? It's not at all a problem. I also enjoy a cocktail every now and again. 2-for-1 cocktails, very appealing. However, alcohol and roller skating, less appealing to me. I like to know that I'm fully in control of my movements, and alcohol doesn't assist me with that. And actually, when I'm skating, I find I don't need alcohol to feel really good about myself. So it's something that I don't drink very often. And also, I don't live anywhere close and convenient, so I personally prefer to drive home. And that's my choice. It's different for everybody. Again, like, absolutely no judgment on anyone who chooses something different. But what I have learned is that there are enough people who want an alternative that we should talk about this, and we should provide places that people can go. They can still be, it's an adult space in an evening, but it offers something different from a regular space. And maybe they've been recovering from addiction or something like that, and actually being in a space where it's like very tempting is going to really curb their social life. So, you know, like, I just think there's places for everyone. Like, I'm getting very worked up about this, and people were just very much talking about safe spaces, and it's like this definitely a strong theme that's come through on social media as well. Kickstarter video where people are talking about, I really appreciate that we need more safe spaces. And then it starts the question, well, why do we need more places that people feel safe, and what are people doing that's making people feel unsafe? So I have theories about this. I've started writing about them in my newsletter. If you fancy signing up for my newsletter, it is like a deep dive into my life and my roller skate journey and how I kind of got to this point where I'm at now. I finally figured out how to do that, having wanted to start like a newsletter email a long time ago. Like I finally figured that out now. Only this year in 2024. Back to people that have been in the shop. I actually don't have a lot to update you on, but the conversations that I've had about safe spaces are probably the overwhelming majority of memorable conversations that I've had with people this week. And it's just so interesting that that's like the really strong theme that's coming through. And I had this conversation with a young woman, a roller skate society at my uni, and like it's really cool. I just wondered if there's a roller rink in Leeds, and I was like, sadly no, but you know, maybe we can offer a space quite soon. And she was like, oh, that's really awesome. And then we were talking about other roller rinks, and there's not many in the UK. So she had the rental skates, and usually in a roller rink, like it's kind of easy to spot the rental skates. That's the point, but that does not necessarily mean that the person wearing said rental skates has no experience, right? Just because you have rental skates could be a whole host of reasons. And she said she was like skating around, and she said she was learned during the pandemic, but like a lot of people who learned in the pandemic had a lot of experience in a very short amount of time. So she learned a lot of skills very quickly, was very dedicated, went skating every day for like hours every day, and really like put in the graft. And I had nothing else to do. So I had a great time learning to roller skate and finding out what my body could do, going to access skate spaces in and around the place that she lives, and so on, which is a really common story at the moment. And thank goodness that lots of those people have stayed roller skating, not changed their mind and gone, oh, it's just something I did in the pandemic, because it could easily have been a fad. So I really hope it's not, because if they stay and we can build the community, everyone benefits. We get more skate opportunities popping up as the community grows. It's a positive thing. Anyway, but she said she was really judged, and it wasn't that people were like going, oh my god, she can skate. The middle of the rink is usually where the dancers would go, because you've got room in the middle, you're not in people's way at the corners or the edges, and the edges of the rink usually is where faster people will go anyway, so the slowest people in the middle and the dancers in the very middle. And she said people you're quite good. The sort of tone of surprise, and she was probably here for a little while before she shared this, so I guess it took her a while to feel comfortable and safe. And again, I'm not sharing this in any way to shame anybody or anything like that, but maybe it will give people a bit of a pause for thought about how they can snap judge about somebody and go, well, just because you're in something rental, it doesn't make you better or worse. Like, so what if you're in a rental skate? Who cares? Maybe you just didn't want to carry your skates today and you knew that there were nice rental skates at the place. Maybe you're visiting and you're from out of town. You had no idea that that roller skate space even existed until you got there and your family, shall we go? And you're like, oh my god, yeah, actually I'm a skater, that would be awesome. Like, there's so many reasons that you might not have skates with you but require rental skates, but still not have. Why are we surprised that someone rocks up and they're wearing a rental skate and they know what they're doing and they can do some moves that you might consider to be worthy of you to speak to? I just, like, am I being inclusive, or am I protecting the people that I'm skating with and actually choosing to shut people out? I appreciate that not everyone's going to be ready to reflect on this. Some people are not going to like this message. It's probably not going to be very popular. That's okay. I'm not here to please people. I'm not here to be right. I don't want to be right. I actually kind of hope that on this particular issue, I'm wrong, and that people are not judgmental and people are super chill. Let me know your thoughts. Have you experienced anything like this, where have you been to a rink and kind of felt out of your depth? I think we probably have all experienced that at some point. Like, that's really normal. And certainly when we're stepping up in classes, like I have a lot of conversations in the shop as well about people who want to come to class for the first time. You put yourself out there, you come to your first roller skate class and you learn what it's like. So you figure out, right, this is what happens at skate class with Roller Girl Gang. We have, the room is split like this. People sit here, people sit here. I'm expected to take a drink. If I do this, then this will happen. If I don't feel like doing this, it's okay, etc., etc. And you get comfortable because that feels nice, right? You don't have to think about all those things. You just know what's going to happen. And there is energy used in not knowing about all the other things. But just remind people that a little bit of anxiety about doing something new, going to a new space, a change is normal, but also change is normal. Like, everything changes most of the time. Like, we're always growing and developing, and I certainly want to be a better person today than the person that I was yesterday. I want the opportunity to do better every single day. That's how I choose to live. Anyway, so you've, say, been going to your learn to roller skate class, and you've been doing that quite happily for a couple of months, and you've been 6-7 sessions or something like that, and then it's time to move on. A great set of foundation skills. Let's get you maybe a little bit out of your comfort zone again and into the skills workshop, into the next session. But that changes everything again because your routine changes. It's at a different time. What happens in the session isn't the same every single week, so it becomes less predictable. And some people are just, hell no, I'm not ready for that. And that's okay. I'm fine where I am. I'm going to choose to grow very slowly, which is fine. Or I want to do more. I feel more confident now. I'm ready to go a bit quicker. If this kind of message speaks to you, self-reflection is something that you're interested in, or maybe you have very little experience about where to get started, do think about coming to my webinar as well. I've got one at the end of this month. It's called Hire as in hire, not rental. Hire Skate of Mind, and it's my online coaching program, and it's just designed to offer you space to self-reflect and challenge some of the stories that we have been telling ourselves. I say stories because they're made up. The stories that we're telling ourselves that hold us back from fulfilling our full potential. The problem is identifying the stories is really, really hard when you're trying to do it for yourself. I know this because I have tried. You're not even aware the story is there. You're not even, it's like, it's so comfortable. It's like a creaky floorboard that you just know to go around. It's like the crack in the sports hall floor that you know to step over because you know it's there and it's like a bit of an issue, but you're going to step over it, and you do it over and over to the point where you don't even notice that crack anymore because you just step over it. Is this making sense? I will wrap up there. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode. I hope you found it interesting in some way, shape or form, and I really appreciate you being here. If you get a chance, please go check out the Kickstarter. I will see you on the next one, and have a wonderful day. Bye.